Mic check, mic check. There we go. Okay, we will start over. Hi guys, this is Simon with Trade and Perform Coaching. I will read this real quick. Sorry the prior video did not have audio. This one will. So important disclaimer and reminder for all traders and investors, this webinar is for educational purposes only and not a recommendation to buy or sell any particular financial instrument. Equities, futures, options, and currency trading have large potential rewards, but also large potential risks. You must be aware of the risks and be willing to accept them in order to invest in the futures and options markets. Do not trade with money you can't afford to lose. The website is neither a solicitation nor an offer to buy or sell equities, futures, or options. No representation is being made that any account will or is likely to achieve profits or losses similar to those discussed on this channel. Past performance of any trading system or methodology is not necessarily indicative of future results. Consult your registered financial advisor and your risk trading plan before ever investing or trading any financial instrument. Okay, we're going to start over. So, there are 3 trades. At first, this chart looks very busy, okay? But if you'll slow it down, it is very straightforward. Okay, there's 3 trades. I'm going to go through trade number 1. This is a 15 tick, but it applies to the 24 tick. Trade 1 is to have an arrow. It's these white arrows or red arrows, okay? You have to have a white arrow after a pullback, so I'm going to find a place where there's a pullback where we get one. Here, first one's a stop, but I'll show you what it looks like. You get a white arrow, you have to still have some idea of which way you're going, right? Your entry is not on this white arrow right here. It is not. Your entry is on this pink bar up, and your stop is 10 points. At least I believe that's the appropriate stop on the trade. You have to make your own risk decision, but that's the stop I would use, right? Why are we entering on the second bar on that? Because you will see that you get a lot of these white arrows, right? And if they do not get a second bar, they stop. However, this one over here costs you 10 points. That's $200 a contract on the NASDAQ. This one over here, you get the arrow, you get the bar up, you enter with a 10-point stop, and then it promptly runs 50 points. Whether you hold it for 50 points or not is up to each individual trader, right? So again, you'd want to trade in the way that the market's trading. We're gapped up, we're above value, the market's trending up today. So again, the side I would be leaning on and what I'd want is a pullback of a decent rotation. So I'm not looking at these. I would like at least 3 or 4 bars down on a 15 tick, right? So if you're uber aggressive and want to take these, be my guest. It's not my flavor. This is pullback, pink bar, 10-point stop. Then that proceeds to extend from 03 to roughly 19, which is almost a 1.5 RR, right? So as you're going through this trade, right, again, I would go long here. I've already done the math on this. This may or may not have survived. If it survived by a tick, but just count it as a 10-point stop. It's fine, right? If you go through that day, you should be able to take a 10-point stop without being upset, right? Again, not much of a pullback in between 9:53 and 10 o'clock. This is a 10-point stop if you were super aggressive and took it all the way at the top of the channel, right? But you can sustain, again, you can sustain that 10-point stop because the RR and the win rate's correct. This is your next entry. You end up with a 1-to-1 RR initially, right? And then you get a little bit further extension after that, off to the right. So that's trade 1. It works both long and short. You got to make sure you're in a short market before you execute it. So I'm going to slow down. Was I clear on the explanation of that trade? Does anyone need a clearer explanation of that trade? We're good? Nope. POC does not need above. You just simply need the second bar on that. Nope. Does not. Just needs a second bar on this trade. So Nate asked if the POC needs to be above the white arrow. Well, it will almost always be on that second bar, Nate. I guess the answer is you're correct, but it'll always be that way. It always has to be a second bar up. It'd be very rare to have a bar up and the point of control below, although it does happen from time to time. Randy, you do not need it. Randy asked if you need a pink bar or a purple bar. You do not for this version. So that's version number 1. Version number 2, okay, is getting the no supply, no demand, the pink and purple bars, up on the second bar. So I'm going to focus on the longs today because that's where all the opportunity was. So there was not a lot of this trade today. Normally there is in a two-sided market, but there just isn't. I'll show you what this trade looks like. We actually had it on the short, although I wouldn't have shorted today, but it's this. You get a red arrow down or a white arrow up, and it's the second bar. It's this entry. It's a 10-point stop. It's about 12 on the 24 tick, and you can see this gave you the 1-to-1 RR before rotating back up. Again, if you get a rotation back up, this is a valid entry to the downside. This is a stop for 10 points. I think 830 is the other one where we had all the opportunity. Let me see. We just didn't have this trade show up a lot today. If we go to a few days back, we'll see plenty of examples. They're all showing up on the short side. So it's this. Why are we all showing up on the short side on this trade? Hold on. Not the third bar, not the first bar. It's always the second bar. And it's just not showing up. It looks like, oh, this is 7 in the morning. This is holiday trading. Let's go back over here. Ah, like that. Right there. It doesn't have to show up a lot, by the way, but it has a very high win rate against a 10-point stop. It's good RR, and it's very, very specific. Give me just 1 second, guys. Trying to find another example. This. I don't take them at 8:30 in the morning, but that is the other example. Okay. So that's the second example. If you go through your charts, both the 15 and the 24, you will find examples of that. I'll go to the 24 and give a couple examples. This is valid right here. That is valid for the 10-point stop. That was 828. When the market's more active, when we have more volatility, you'll see this trade pop up a lot more. Okay. Then the third setup with this trade. Oh, stop. Is this. Into the low or into the high. Into the low or into the high. You get a no supply, no demand bar. You must have a no supply, no demand bar for the least aggressive version of this trade. You take the next bar up out of that, the second bar with a 10-point stop. So this is valid. If you want to get it, I would recommend at least 3 bars down. So this is valid, right? And then anything else that you get more aggressive on is totally up to you. So I'm going to give you a few examples. Okay, this is valid. If you're shorting, this is valid. If you're shorting, this is valid. If you're going long, this is valid. You're way up there, but that's your business, right? And then you do not ever want to be long and then have this scenario set up. I would suggest you exit immediately if you're not actually shorting it. Okay? This at a higher low is very valid. Okay? When it comes at a higher low, very valid. then let's go to today. Okay, even though I would not have taken it. Well, it didn't set up, it missed a bar. This is valid right there. Higher low like that. Again, that higher low trade sets off a lot of really good trades. Valid. Again, you can see that led to a beautiful rotation to the downside. Valid. I don't love it. It's at 8:30 in the morning. And now I'm going to go over to the 24 tick. Does anyone have any questions? Those are the 3 trades this develops. Hopefully we can get it programmed so it only shows up when it's on those type of scenarios, as opposed to having arrows all over the place. But it's a hard algo to program. Any questions? Did I explain it well? Nate, Randy, Ed, anyone else listening? Joyce? It's 3 specific setups. Okay, well, it's very specific, Ed. It's a no supply, no demand with the arrow up, and then the entries on the second bar down after you get it. Not the stuff. It has to be the second bar. Again, that's to prevent up stuff, up stuff, up stuff, and you get caught on a trend day. Yeah, it almost always is, because it's always on the second bar, right? So it always ends up like that. So here, I'll find a few more examples. It's great if you get it on an apex trap on the 24. It is fantastico. Let me see if I can find it. We didn't get a lot of this trade today. And the last one, actually, the one where you get the apex, the no supply, no demand stuffed, is my favorite, only because it gives massive extensions on it when you get it. The RR is really great on it. That's an example right there. Right, the entries on this bar, 10-point stop, that definitely survived. And if you look at the rip, it was a 50-point rip for a 10-point stop. So I'm going to go show a few examples on the 24. Okay. So this is from today. Okay. Again, I'm not trading it in the first half hour, but this is red arrow down, no supply, no demand, second bar up, see you. Okay. If you were shorting and you used this got stopped. Okay, I don't know why you would short that with that dominant wave, but if you did, okay, you got stopped. Arrow down, purple bar, no second bar up, no trade. Okay, so Ed, this is specifically designed to stop those when we start getting pounded on the trends down. In most cases, this will dramatically reduce the number of stops. Here's the next trade. Your entry's on this bar right here. Again, you can see the lift. I'm trying to see if we have anything else that okay. Arrow up, pink bar, entries on the second bar. Right there, I'll make it bigger. If you were shorting, okay. A conservative trader would pit both bars as the stop. I'm going to get stopped on this trade because I'm just going to use a smaller stop. The most conservative stop is to pit a stop at the low. I'm just going to get smoked on that, right? But I'm going to come right back in. I'm not going to get smoked. I'm going to lose 10 or 12 points on that trade. But then I'm going to come right back in, arrow down, purple bar, higher low. That higher low theme plays out over and over again, both on the shorts and the longs. This is my entry. Again, I'll use either a 10 or 12 point stop, not both bars. And I obviously recover any loss I had, plus the rip. That goes from roughly 25.39 to 25.76 in short order, and then it had a bigger extension from there, right? Again, purple bar, stuffed. Again, I'd prefer to see a further push down. We don't always get it. Entries on this bar with, let's just call it a 12-point stop. I'm using 10 and re-entering, but there's those of you that need to have it very, very specific. So the specific stop is 12 points. I'm using 10. I'm more aggressive. I'm willing to enter the trade again if I got dinged and it reversed immediately. Okay, and again, you can see that you got the RR. Okay, this would have been a potential short right here on the 24 tick, right? If it had gotten a second bar down, arrow down, needs the second bar, no dice in this case, and we're trending up, right? I'll go back for a few days to show a few more examples. Here, let me just load a few days on this thing. Prior to straight up land, just do that really quick. Okay, so this is, let's just go back. I want to go back a little bit in time so we can see a different market. Hopefully one that's a little bit more volatile. Okay, so here, this obviously has more juice to it. On the European session, I would use a 10 tick. If you're using this overnight, a 10 tick. So here's the open. Let's just skip past the first 45 minutes, the first half hour. Everyone already knows my feeling on that. So when you get to the open, it impulse moves. Obviously, I would like the third channel instead of the middle of the channel, but we'll just go with it as it sets up, right? So I get a purple bar down, red arrow, second bar in. Obviously, I get my 1-to-1 RR. If I have the second bar up is a pink bar for the longs, purple for the short, and it has a red, white arrow, white arrow on it, that is good to go with a 10-point stop. It should be an immediate lift. Okay. Again, if you were being aggressive trying to get the continuation, this is a stop. That is red arrow up, pink bar at a lower high. Then you get the second bar, it gets stuffed. This is your entry on that short. Again, if I ever took this long and I got this combo, if I wasn't stopped out here for any reason, I would flip to the short side on that trade. This is nothing. Pink bar followed by an arrow up is nothing for me. Okay? This is, again, it depends on the environment, and we have no context here as to what we're looking for, right? So this is pink bar up with red arrow. That is a 10-point stop, right? This is pink bar stuffed, second bar down. You have to have the context, right? If you see this purple bar down with this red arrow, you have to be alert that they're probably going to flip it. So this appears to be trend day up without doing a lot of research. So I'd want to be on the right side. Purple bar stuffed, I'd be long right here again with a 12-point stop on a 24 tick. And hopefully I'm reading the market correctly and I have a read. Again, if I'm looking for a short, you can see this ends up being a apex trap off to the left. So a special important note on apex traps. If you get any of these combinations on an apex trap, particularly on the side that is trapping, if you get both sides, that's great. It produces very large rolls. Ed, this is important for you. Nate, Randy, all of y'all that take swing, that want to take swing trades, this trade is super important. Your risk is approximately 12 points, but your potential RR, if you catch this in the right place, is 50 to 100 points on the trade. Okay, this is super important. I'll be going over it in coaching. Okay, and I would not deviate from needing the no supply, no demand being the last bar, right? I would want the whole thing. So sometimes you'll see it like this, and you'll go, oh, but look at that. As I went through, the entire goal was to get as few stops as possible, right? So again, if you see this, I'm not taking this. I need the arrow on it, right? I'm all right with occasionally, hey, I'm going to get stopped, right? Like this, That's going to cost me 10 points. So again, on the 24 tick in particular, what I'd really like to see is is it occur on an apex trap, right? I am going to get stopped. Sometimes this is after hours. No one would have been trading that. We'll just go to the next day. I would not trade the 24 tick after hours, by the way. This is Friday morning. So here, let's look at trend down. Perfect example, right? So this is 9 o'clock. And let's say for some bizarre reason we can't tell that it's trend down, right? Hopefully you would know from the pitch of those, from the pitch of the channel. But let's say you didn't know and you took longs, right? Under this process, your first long would be this would be a stop. Technically, this would be a stop. Actually, there's no technically about it. That would be a stop. Assuming you can't tell it's trend day down. This would be a stop, right? So you're still going to get hammered on it. But what you'll notice is what you don't get is the arrow down on the 24 tick that gets stuffed with the no supply, no demand. Let me see if I can find it. I mean, obviously at this point you're looking for the short. Like here, I can tell you on this trend day, like I'd be all over this. That red arrow down on that no supply, no demand on trend day down, like I'm just going to smoke it all over the place. But what I'm trying to show you is what it looks like if it gets hammered, right? So here you'll see where you got the arrow down with the no supply, no demand, and the second bar lifts, and it gave you the extension. So if you're asking me what my favorite trade is, it's that no supply, no demand that gets stuffed and the second bar up on the lift. I am very much all about that trade. I don't care if I miss trades. I just don't. Again, here, this at a higher low is just fantastic. That purple bar arrow down, right? When I look over here, we're in a short market, right? So I'm going to be much more eager to take these, right? Even though that's an impulse move up, so I probably skipped it, than I am going to be to take them on the way down. So as you look down, right now I'm looking for the long, right? I'm actively looking for the long. Again, what would I like to do? I would have said impulse move. I'd like to see a push down, get behind my first fractal, which I do right there. I get behind the fractal. So I may have taken a 10-point stop right there. I like that trade. I do. I would have looked at impulse move. I'm going to take this. Stop. Comes down. Actually, I know I would have taken it. Purple bar down, this, I'm going to take a 10-point stop on that or 12-point stop. Going to come down, arrow up, I'm long this bar. Second bar, I'm going to get paid. I'm going to cover my pain from over there, right? I'm going to assume that y'all are all good enough to recognize trend day down and trend day up, right? Again, as I come down, as I come up, this is the second bar down with an arrow on it. I'm going to attempt that, right? I don't have any trade over here at 1400, not yet. And if I couldn't figure out that we were lifting from that massive wave, I'm going to get stopped right there. But I'm all right with that, right? Usually I'm going to be well done at that point. And if I went back to the beginning of the day, by the way, and we added context, which hopefully that's gap down, trend day up. Here's 8:30. As you can see, we already started the day trending down. They tried to bounce it, right? So I would have already said, hey, be ready. We're on trend day down, right? And so then what am I looking for in this context before it rips to the downside, right? So if you come over here and you look at this, I would have gone, well, everyone knows I'm pretty aggressive, so I would have gone impulse move over. I'm going to probably attempt this right here based on this stuff at a higher low. And then up here, I'm going to hope I get stuffed at a lower high I'm going to enter that short right there. And then you're going to see we're going to get this push down somewhere in here, unless I skip days. I skipped days. Sorry. So this is a different day. Apologies. I just went through too many days. So now if you look as we're coming down here, I'm looking for the, see how this is at a higher low? I'm going to end up long there. Okay, I want to try to do one more day so y'all can see it. Here's 9 a.m. I'm not going to be short this. I want the arrows, right? I just want the arrows. That's all there is to it. No, 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 more no. If I'd gotten the second bar down, I'd have been short here. This is your entry. That was tough. That may have gotten stopped out. 67 to 77. Let's see if it survived. Oh yeah, it got stopped. What did you need? You needed 71 to 88 to survive that trade. So I would, again, that's the place where I would have gotten dinged on the 10, and I would have probably re-entered right there on the next bar if it couldn't get a second bar up. No trade. Let's just go through this. No trade. If I was looking for continuation, this is a short. It's all the way at the bottom of the channel. It's unlikely I would have taken it. I would have wanted this up top. Again, that's another place where I would have taken the 10-point stop and immediately resume. Like, once you see them, how they work in real time, you'll catch it. Like, I'll be short here. It's not, once you see the pattern that you're looking for, it's not a hard pattern to pick off. Long here. Long here. Apex trap, long here. Long here, probably stopped. Again, I would have wanted to read the room, but probably stopped. Stopped, and then this. So this is what it looks like when it gets in trouble, which is good. There's nothing wrong with that. See how we start grinding down over here? So what I would have said here is to look for the longs. I want to get behind this guy, right? So now I'm looking for it to apex trap. So I would have attempted this right here. Like, there's no question in my mind. This still doesn't fix this choppy situation, but this is occurring after 10:30, and it got chopped. There's nothing you can do about it, right? And then when you see up there, I'm looking for, I would take the purple arrow down. This is New York lunch, so not really, but conceptually, after New York lunch, I am, realistically, I probably tried to short this. I may have gotten out once it didn't get any extension. No trade. And then I'm just getting caught on trend day up right here. Again, you'll see this should have gone. The apex trap back into this is super powerful. Okay, if one of these gets stopped out and the apex traps back in, it gives you a big extension, and we still have to read the room. No, we do not. You don't need them, quote unquote. I'm focused purely on these red and white arrows. The blue arrow does help you still to the long side. The green ones you don't need. So that's how I'm reading this. That's how I'm doing this, per se. And again, I like the arrows when they come on the second bar. The stops are small. Obviously, the environment in this case is not ideal, but that is what I am working. That is what I'm working towards. And in this case, where I was looking for the short up here, how would have I done this if I'd been looking for the short? I'm going to take this with the stop. As you develop, Ed, this is important to you on this tweezer's bottom like this, right? The lift bar with the arrow on it works, but I didn't want to overcomplicate how many setups there were. But that works very, very nicely when you have the up bar is an arrow with a delta push on it. right? And again, you'll see through here on this no supply. So this would have been a 10-point stop. Why? Because I got the red arrow down. I wait for the second bar. Stop me. Obviously, the short is the hard side of this trade. Today it is. And then I'll show you again when you go back. Just load a few days on this. Okay, here we'll just, well, I don't want to do 8:30. This is on the 18th of June. It was slow here too. So just picking up randomly wherever we are without context. Like for me, I would have been long here for sure. Long here, no doubt about it in my mind. I'd have missed this. This is a valid long for me if I think we're getting continuation. This is a stop if I'm looking for the reversal. Minus 10. This is my next entry where I recover the 10 over to the left. That's getting pretty late in the day there. And then in the morning, after New York lunch, this is my entry on that chart right there. Got the red arrow, second bar, 10-point stop. That's an entry right there. Red arrow down, second bar. I don't know if it survives the 10 points. Huh, yeah, it does. It survives the 10 points for the rip. No, nothing there. Probably going to attempt this if I can't read the rim, right? Again, longs over shorts for sure, but if I'm trading both ways, I'm going to take that. Again, that gets you 1-to-1 off. I really like when this arrow gets stuffed like this on a push down. So I might have attempted that long. Again, 10-point stop. I'm trying to get my RR out of the trade. I'm going to get stopped here for minus 10. Got it up into the corner. Oh, well, that's middle of the night. Sorry, so I'm not. Here, I'll just go a little further back. I know it looks boring, but it's very effective at getting your risk off. So I'm just picking these days randomly. Here's 9 o'clock. So again, forget the moving averages. Long, short. Trying to see if I missed any. Hypothetically long. It's 9 o'clock, so probably not. That was long with a 10-point stop. Down stuff, pink up. I would not have taken these because they're not coming off the apex. This was also long from arrow up, second bar, 10-point stop. That one survived. This is a stop if you took the arrow with the second bar. And then this is a long right there. If you can get your mind to understand when you get the 4-bar sideways and then that arrow up on the pink bar on the lift, it's very, very effective for the trade. I probably took a stop here because I would have tried to break it out of consolidation. Again, I would intertwine my read on these trades, right? So I'm not taking every single trade. It's not meant to be mechanical. It's meant to, hey, what's your read? How are you reading this, etc., etc. Because otherwise, like if I can't tell that we've broken to the upside, right? This becomes a stop. This becomes a stop. But you should have some sense of the read. This would be more logical for me, since I can see that we've you know, I see we've just broken up over the 200 period, I'm going to go, oh, I'm looking for longs, right? That's a New York lunch as well. Here's after New York lunch. I'm long there, I can tell you that right now. This purple arrow, this arrow down with the purple bar that gets stuffed and then you get the lift on the third bar, I am long. It pays great. Not every time, but it pays great enough that I'm willing to sustain the 10-point stops because I can get 20 and 30 out of it. This is a stop in that case, right? This is a stop. This is a short, successful, which is hopefully once you broke below the 200, you're looking for that. This is a scalp to the long side. You barely got out with the chair by the hair of your chinny chin chin. Long the second bar right here. 10-point stop. You got the win there. Long that pink bar right there. Second bar up, 10-point stop. You can actually do that on the pink bars with a 5-point stop like it should go. I'm just using generous stops to make sure that we get through the process. Again, when those purple bars are getting stopped to the downside and my read is long, I am taking these longs. I love this trade right here at the higher low. I love these. When these come in at the higher low, I love this trade. It just pays over and over, and it's often when they're breaking it to the upside. The only challenge with it is sometimes you can't catch it. It just, everyone knows it and they just flash it up. So I don't have any other comment on this besides that. I think it's a very, very good trade. I would expect everyone to be profitable off of this that's using it. It's a very specific, the only thing you have to do is filter for, am I in an up market or am I in a down market? So any other questions? Ed, did I answer your questions sufficiently? That should give you plenty of time to do your homework prior to us meeting again. It's a really great trade, and it keeps you much less active as well. It's not a trade that fires over and over. Questions? Like, see this right here? I'm already looking for, if I see that, I'm already looking for the reversal. I don't guess that it's coming, but since I know that it's coming, I am prepped for it. Depends on the speed of the market, Randy. When it's slow like this, the 15. Like, this is a valid setup right here. If that 89.50 prints, yeah, I would be willing to take that. So like that would be a long right there at 87.50 with a 10-point stop, right? It's just is, it's a long, right? And then your stop is 10 points away. So 77.50. Yeah, 77.50. And it works just like that. Just got to go 10 points to get your 1-to-1 RR. And that's the trade in real time. 93 so far. You normally would get 2 or 3 bars up, right? Normally you get 2 or 3 bars up, so you just got to let it work. And it's New York lunch, so everyone already knows how I feel about New York lunch. And just trade it small enough so you can take the 10-point stop and take the next trade in the sequence. One thing I didn't check, if I have my chart set correctly. And it should go pretty quickly. Like, it should really just bam, bam, bam up. It shouldn't do this little trotting around, but that's part of the 11:50 New York lunch thing. So just FYI, it should be relatively a fast trade. Like, I would love this smashed on that 90. If that 95 prints, which I would still look for anyways, I would expect it to push up over here. So it's if. So it's New York lunch. Does anyone have any questions? I think the algo is great. I'm hoping for positive feedback, but I'm sure everyone just needs to study it and test it. But as far as the quality algo goes, okay, guys, I'm going to kill it and go have lunch with my kids. I will talk to y'all later. I'll leave the room open, obviously, but there's a trade setup that should lift up and off to the right, which is the entire purpose of that trade. So anyways, talk to you in a little bit, guys.